The quieter you become, the more they hear you. That's not just a quote, my friends. It's a truth that most people in modern dating can't handle. They thought you'd beg. They thought you'd break. They thought your silence was a sign of weakness. But every single day, you stay silent. It's not just peace. It's power. It's pressure. It's presence without being present. You didn't disappear to punish. You disappeared because you grew tired of explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. Hey folks, let me tell you something. Silence is not revenge. It's not some dramatic act. It's self-respect wrapped in calmness. It's you finally understanding that your energy isn't free anymore. You see, when someone has access to your thoughts, your care, your attention, and they waste it, the real flex isn't clapping back or chasing closure. The real move is closing the door quietly. Imagine this. You're like Wi-Fi, always available, always connected, always giving a signal. They got used to it, took it for granted, never said thank you, never paid the bill. Then one day, boom, no signal. Now they're standing there, phone in hand, trying to refresh their old connection to you, but all they see is no service. My friends, silence is the message. It's the auto-reply they never expected. People don't panic when you're loud. They panic when you're calm because calm people have thought it through. Calm people have stepped back for a reason. Calm people don't explain, they exit. And in dating, that drives them insane. You're not playing the game, you're flipping the board over and walking away. Let me break a lie for you that you've probably heard before. If they don't talk to you, they don't care. Nonsense. Some people care so much that they choke on their pride. They care, but they're waiting for you to blink first. They care, but their ego is driving the car, and it's headed straight for regret. Your silence forces them to face themselves, and let me tell you, that's not a fun conversation. They won't show it, not yet, but trust me, they're checking, watching, wondering, trying to figure out how you went from always being there to gone. Because you didn't just stop texting, you stopped making them the center of your universe. You stopped spinning in their orbit, and now their galaxy feels off balance. Every day you stay silent, their fantasy starts to fall apart. The illusion they built that they could walk away and you'd be waiting. It crumbles because you're not waiting. You're working, you're healing, you're leveling up in silence. And let me tell you something real. A person who can grow in silence becomes unstoppable. You don't need to post about it. You don't need to prove anything. You don't need a comeback story full of fireworks. Just stay quiet and let the thunder be your peace. Because the longer you stay silent, the more they realize it wasn't your words that gave you power. It was your absence. And hey, don't forget to smile a little too. Let them wonder how you're glowing without their attention. Let them guess why you're calm when they expected chaos. There's a little fun in being a mystery, right? My friends, this is your moment. You're not being silent to disappear. You're being silent to rise. Let every day without contact be a brick in the foundation of your new peace. So today, I want you to say it with me. Type it in the comments. Silence is power. Say it, feel it, live it. And if this hit you right in the heart, smash that like button, subscribe, and stay with me. Because what's coming next? That's when the silence starts doing damage. Number 1, the lie. They don't care because they're silent too. Don't confuse composure with peace. Some people are just good at hiding the storm. That's the quote I want you to keep in mind as we dive deeper into this first truth, my friends. There's a lie that's been messing with your head ever since you went quiet, ever since you stopped chasing, ever since you stopped reaching out to someone who didn't know how to hold what you gave. And the lie is this: they don't care because they're silent too. You're sitting there wondering, hurting, thinking, if I meant anything, wouldn't they say something by now? Wouldn't they check in? Wouldn't they fight for me just once? And the longer their silence stretches out, the more your mind turns on you. That's the trap. That's the illusion. Let me paint the picture. Imagine a calm lake, still and smooth, reflecting the sky like glass. But underneath, the current is violent. The water is moving fast. You just can't see it from the surface. That's them. On the outside, they seem unbothered, living life, laughing in pictures, hanging out, silent. But inside, panic, doubt, regret, and ego are wrestling with emotion like two wolves fighting in the dark. Because here's what no one tells you. Silence doesn't always mean they're at peace. Sometimes silence is a prison they built themselves. Sometimes silence is just pride holding the mic. And I know what you're thinking, but they seem fine. They're posting, they're out. They haven't reached out in weeks. Yeah, I get it. That silence is messing with your head. But here's the truth. Silence isn't always confidence. Sometimes it's fear. Sometimes it's confusion. Sometimes it's them waiting for you to blink first. You think they're not thinking about you? They are. But they won't admit it, not yet. Why? Because it would mean surrendering the image they built. The image of being strong, over it, in control. It's not strength, they're just scared to look weak. They're afraid to be the one who breaks the silence first. They're afraid that if they reach out and you don't answer, they'll feel the same pain they once caused you. So what do? They stay silent, they sit in it. They hope you'll reach out first so they don't have to feel rejection. It's ego, not peace. It's self-protection, not emotional maturity. Here's another way to look at it. Have you ever seen a cat cornered in a room? It looks calm, doesn't move, doesn't hiss, but its eyes are wide, alert, heart racing. That's them. You think they're relaxed and unbothered. Nah, they're calculating. They're scared. They're waiting. And here's the lie you've been sold. If they really cared, they'd say something. But in today's dating world, people don't talk, they stalk. They don't call, they watch. They'll sit there scrolling through your photos, checking your stories, typing a message they never send because they want connection without vulnerability. They want closeness without effort. They want you without the courage to say so. Let's break that down even more. The fear that you're unloved just because they're silent comes from trauma, from being taught that love has to be loud. But real care doesn't always wear a megaphone. Real regret doesn't always come with an apology. Sometimes it comes with silence that hurts them more than it hurts you. You're thinking, but if I stay silent too, it's over. No, my friend. That's the fear talking. That's the old version of you, the one that thought love meant chasing, but you're not that version anymore. You're evolving. And evolution feels lonely at first because silence feels like death when you're used to chaos. But it's not death, it's rebirth. You're rising from the ashes of old patterns. You're breaking cycles. You're choosing peace over performance. And yes, it's uncomfortable. You'll wake up some mornings with the urge to send that just checking in text. You'll scroll back through old messages, fingers hovering over the keyboard. You'll hear a song that brings everything back, and the silence will feel heavier than ever. But I promise you, they feel it too. They just hide it better. Or at least, they try. Because silence doesn't mean they're free. It means they're hiding. And that hiding will catch up to them. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day when the mask slips, when they miss your energy in a room full of noise, when someone new fails to make them feel seen the way you did, they'll feel that silence like a punch to the chest. You'll be long gone. Not bitter, not broken, just better. My friends, this is your turning point. You're not here to chase people who communicate through silence and ego. You're here to protect your peace, to stand your ground, to stop breaking yourself just to bend into someone else's life. So type this in the comments right now. I won't break first. Say it, write it, live it, because you're not waiting anymore. You're not watching your phone. You're not wondering if they'll come around. You're becoming the version of you that doesn't flinch. the version that understands if they wanted to, they would. And if they don't, let them go. Let them wrestle with the silence they created. Let them wear the weight of the words they were too proud to say. Your silence is not weakness. It's proof that you've grown, that you're no longer giving energy to people who drained it, that you're not scared of losing someone who isn't scared of losing you. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that you don't fold first, you rise first. Stay with me because what's coming next? That's when the silence they're sitting in starts to feel like a cage. They locked themselves in and lost the key. Number 2. Every day without your energy feels heavier. People don't miss your presence, they miss your energy. And when that's gone, silence becomes a weight they weren't ready to lift. Let's break something wide open today, my friends, because this one isn't just about silence. It's about the energy you used to pour into someone who couldn't hold it. And now that you've pulled it back, now that you've stopped showing up like you used to, every day without it is getting heavier for them. See, here's what they never understood. You weren't just there, you were present. There's a difference. You weren't some face in their notifications. You were the calm in their storm, the voice that made things make sense when nothing else did, the one who checked in, who remembered the little things, who gave without needing to be asked. That's not something you can just replace. That's not something you forget after a few nights out. That's energy, and energy carries weight. Your attention was light in their darkness. Your words were fuel. Your love was warmth. But now that energy is gone, and even though they won't say it, they feel the shift. It starts small. They wake up and check their phone instinctively, but there's nothing there. No message, no good morning, no emotional safety net, just space, just quiet, just wait. And the days go on like that. At first, they laugh a little louder, act a little freer, try to convince themselves that the silence feels good. But silence has a funny way of turning loud when you're not used to holding your own peace. Because when you remove your energy, you're not just walking away, you're handing them everything they used to lean on and saying, now carry it yourself. And folks, not everyone can carry what you carried for them. You made it look easy. That's the problem. They thought your strength was just your baseline. They never saw what it cost you to keep showing up. So now that it's gone, now that your light isn't there to soften the shadows, they're feeling it deeply, heavily. Here's the metaphor. Imagine someone used to walking through life with a backpack you packed for them every day. You filled it with reassurance, care, support, and reminders of who they were when they forgot. But then one day the bag's empty, and they don't know how to carry it alone. They didn't notice what you packed, but they notice when it's missing. That's what your energy was. A quiet gift they never had to ask for. A presence they assumed would always be there. But now they feel every ounce of that missing weight in your absence. They scroll through their day and something feels off. The excitement doesn't hit the same. The jokes feel hollow. The conversations feel thin. Because no matter who's around them, you're not. And don't let their silence fool you. Don't let their pride trick you into believing it's easy for them. It's not. You pulled back your light, and now they're squinting in the dark, trying to pretend they can still see. Because here's the truth, people don't miss people. They miss how people made them feel, and you made them feel grounded, seen, steady. And now that energy is gone, their days feel heavier, their nights feel longer, and their distractions feel weaker. But don't expect them to admit it, not yet. They'll cover it up, act strong, fill the void with noise, with people, with ego. But deep down, they know. They feel the shift. And it's suffocating. Because silence isn't just nothingness. It's the sound of your absence, echoing in all the places you used to fill. And that echo gets louder every day. So if you're wondering, if you're second-guessing, If you're tempted to break your silence just to check in, don't hold the line. Let them carry what you carried for far too long. Let them realize how light their world used to feel when your energy was around. And while they sit with that weight, you rise. You protect your light. You stop pouring into places that never poured back. You grow in the quiet. You evolve in the space. Say it out loud and type it in the comments. My energy had weight. Say it for every moment you showed up when you didn't feel seen. Say it for every time you poured into someone who couldn't hold a drop. Say it to remind yourself you were never just a presence. You were power. And what's coming next? That's when the weight of your silence starts turning into pressure they can't escape. Number 3, the mind replays what the heart tries to forget. You can run from the person, but you can't outrun the mirror they left behind. That's what your silence has become, my friends. A mirror, a reflection they never wanted to face. And every day you stay quiet. Every day you don't reach out, don't explain, don't break. That mirror gets clearer. Trust me, they're starting to see the truth they were trying to forget. See, here's what nobody tells you in this modern dating mess. People don't always miss you immediately. They don't feel the absence all at once. They feel it in waves, in stillness, in silence, in moments they didn't expect. At first, the ego kicks in. They convince themselves they did the right thing. They post like they're free. They talk big, laugh, fake it. They say things like, "It just wasn't meant to be," or "I feel lighter now." But time has a way of peeling the mask, because after the noise dies down, after the people stop asking about you, after the distractions lose their shine, their mind turns inward. And that's where the problem begins, because now it's quiet. Silence has this haunting quality. It holds up a mirror, not of who you are, but of who they were when they had you. And that reflection, that's the part they try to avoid. That's the part they buried under the thought that it's not that deep and they'll get over it. But now the heart starts whispering things the mind can't ignore. It starts slow, a random memory, a scent, a place, your laugh in someone else's voice, your eyes in a stranger passing by. The mind replays what the heart desperately wants to forget, because the heart remembers differently. It doesn't keep score, it keeps moments. Moments when you stayed when they pushed you away. Moments when you listened when they were at their worst. Moments when you gave even when you were empty, and moments when they threw it away like it was nothing. Now they're sitting there, phone in hand, fighting the urge to text, typing, deleting, typing again, because the silence you left behind isn't just space, it's accountability. And accountability hurts. They thought you'd always be there. They thought they could walk away and the story would stay paused. But you didn't pause. You ended the chapter. And now they're left flipping back through the pages, looking for where it all went wrong. Spoiler alert, it wasn't you. But that's what the mirror shows them. You were the constant. You were the peace. You were the one who tried. And now they have to sit with the version of themselves that didn't choose you back. That's the weight of regret. Let me give you a metaphor, folks. Ever walk past a store window and at first glance, you just see the reflection of the street behind you. But then you look again and suddenly you see yourself. That's how your silence works. At first, they're only seeing the world, friends, new people, distractions. But then your silence becomes a mirror. They stop seeing the world, they see themselves. And they don't like what they see, because they didn't lose someone average. They lost you. And you didn't disappear because you had nothing left to say. You disappeared because they stopped listening. So now they're stuck with the memories, with the weight, with the guilt they can't wash away. Because guilt echoes in silence louder than anger ever could. They can't talk it away. They can't party it away. They can't scroll it away. Because every time they try to forget, Their own mind betrays them. And you're not bitter. You're not posting cryptic quotes or throwing shade. You're just still. And stillness is terrifying to people who thrive on chaos. So hold your ground. Let the silence keep working. You don't have to say a word. They're already having the conversation with themselves that you used to beg for. And that, my friends, is justice without cruelty, truth without explanation, peace without permission. Type it in the comments right now. My silence is their mirror. Say it, show yourself. Show the world around you that you're not broken. You're reflecting their truth back to them. Stay with me, because what's coming next? That's when the regret starts turning into obsession, and the silence becomes a prison they locked themselves in. Number 4, they thought they won. The worst part about thinking you've won is realizing too late that the game just started. My friends, this one's going to hit a little different, because in the beginning, they really thought they won. They thought walking away meant they were strong. They thought being silent meant they had the upper hand. They thought your stillness was surrender. But what they didn't see is that your silence was the setup. At first, they feel light, free, unbothered. They might even say it out loud. I feel so much better now. It's peaceful without all the drama. It's good to focus on me again. Yeah, they feel that temporary high, but that's all it is. Temporary. It's a sugar rush of false confidence, a hit of ego, a dopamine drip from their own delusions. You see, when someone leaves and doesn't feel the loss immediately, it's not because you weren't valuable. It's because they were distracted. Distracted by pride, noise, new faces, fast thrills, validation from people who don't even know their soul. And while they're out there celebrating their freedom, you're quiet, you're still, you're focused, you're doing what they didn't expect, you're healing, and that's when the setup begins. Let me give you a metaphor, folks. Imagine someone stepping off a boat in the middle of a foggy sea. They think the water's shallow, they think they can walk, they think they're free, but the further they go, the deeper it gets. The fog clears, the waves rise, and now they're out in open water. No map, no anchor, no lighthouse. And the boat? You sailed off in silence. That's how your absence works. At first, they feel like they dodged a storm. But in truth, they lost the only shelter they had. They thought they won because you didn't fight, because you didn't beg, because you didn't make a scene. But real ones know silence isn't surrender. It's strategy. It's you removing your energy and letting the universe show them exactly what they walked away from. They thought they were winning when you didn't react. But your non-reaction was the most powerful move you could have made, because now they feel it. Every moment of silence is a crack in their freedom. Every quiet night is a reminder that no one else understands them the way you did. Every temporary connection is a shadow of what you gave so effortlessly. They thought it would be easy. Find someone new, move on fast, replace you like you were just a name in their phone. But what they forgot was that you weren't just present, you were real, and real can't be replaced. Real echoes, real lingers, real leaves a void, and that void, that's what your silence has become. Not an empty space, but a mirror, a weight, a haunting reminder that they lost someone who was never asking for too much, just offering too deeply. The funny thing is, they thought you'd be the one falling apart. They expected tears, long messages, emotional breakdowns. They expected to feel powerful, to be missed loudly. But instead, you went silent, and that silence shook everything they thought they knew. You became the calm they can't control, the mystery they can't solve, the person they thought was weak, now the one they can't reach. My friends, that's not losing. That's setting the stage for their collapse. So let them keep pretending. Let them ride the high. Let them post. Let them laugh. Let them smile in crowds. Because when the lights dim, when the noise fades, when no one's watching, they'll feel the real cost of that freedom. And you'll still be silent, still healing, still rising. Type it in the comments right now. My silence was the setup. Say it for every time you were counted out. Say it for every time they thought your stillness was weakness. Say it for the version of you that's no longer playing small just to be loved. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you that peace is the real power. And stay with me, because what's coming next? That's when your stillness starts to echo in places they thought you'd never reach. Number 5, your stillness screams louder than their stories. The truth doesn't need an audience, it just needs time. Let's talk about it, my friends. Because when you go still, when you stop reacting, stop chasing, stop showing up for someone who took your presence for granted, they panic. But they won't show you that. No, they'll spin stories instead. They'll rewrite the truth in a way that makes them the hero, the victim, the one in control. Why? Because control is the only thing they ever really wanted. They'll tell people, we just grew apart. They were too much. I had to put myself first. They'll post like life is good, smiling, laughing, surrounded by people who don't even know the real story. But behind all that noise is your silence, unshaken, unbothered, unavailable. And that's silence. It's screaming. See, here's the thing. They need those stories. They need something to lean on because the truth is too heavy. The truth is that they let go of someone real, someone who showed up, someone who gave a damn. But your stillness, your refusal to play the game, that's what's messing with them. Because stories are only powerful when no one is there to contradict them. And you're not arguing, you're not defending yourself, you're not explaining your side. And that, right there, that's the power move. Because in a world where everyone is talking, sharing, oversharing, and clapping back, you said nothing. And that nothing, it's louder than all of it. Let me give you a metaphor, folks. Imagine a crowd cheering at a show, music blasting, lights flashing, and then out of nowhere, the power cuts. Silence, stillness, no sound, no movement. Everyone starts looking around, confused, anxious, waiting for someone to explain. That's what your silence feels like to them. Now the show they built on top of lies, you just turned the power off. And now they're scrambling for attention, scrambling to feel seen, scrambling to prove to themselves and the world that they're okay. But it's not working because your stillness won't move. It won't bend, it won't flinch. You're not out here throwing shade. You're not posting cryptic quotes. You're not reacting to their rebound. You're just gone, peacefully, powerfully. And that kind of exit leaves a mark. Because people expect noise when they hurt someone. They expect tears, fights, chaos. They expect to still matter even in pain. But when you remove your reaction, when you don't give them a new chapter to control, their story falls apart. Because every version they tell of what happened still ends with you, not chasing. You've become the question they can't answer, the calm they can't shake, the void they can't explain. And the beauty of it, you didn't do it to hurt them. You did it to heal you. They'll try to convince others that you're cold, that you never cared, that you moved on too easily. But deep down, they know. They know what your silence really means. It means you were the real one. It means you're no longer available for emotional games. It means their stories are just noise now, while you've become the stillness that haunts them. So let them talk. Let them build their narratives. Let them pretend. Because while they spin stories, you're writing a new chapter quietly, with purpose, with peace. Type it in the comments right now. My silence is louder. Say it for every time they tried to rewrite your truth. Say it for the version of you that used to explain yourself to people who never listened. Say it to remind yourself that you don't need to speak to be heard. Show them, show yourself, show the world around you. Stillness isn't emptiness, it's mastery. And stay with me, because what's coming next, that's when your silence starts to become the one sound they can't tune out. Number 6, they're not ignoring you. They're checking quietly. They don't miss you publicly, but they study you privately. Let's get one thing clear, my friends. You are not being ignored the way you think you are. You're not forgotten. You're not invisible. You're just not feeding the chaos anymore. And when someone is used to you reacting, reaching out, responding, they don't know what to do with your silence. So what do? They lurk, they check, they scroll, they watch. They're not ignoring you. They're just doing their checking in the shadows now, quietly, sneakily. They still view your stories. They still stalk your page. They use fake accounts, mutual friends, private browsers. They won't double tap your post, but they'll zoom in on your smile. They won't message you directly, but they'll check your comments, trying to figure out who's making you laugh now. Because that's the part they'll never admit. Your silence made you interesting again. See, when you were available, when you were giving, showing up, texting, explaining, proving, they were comfortable. They had all the access. You were predictable. You were easy to reach. But now you're not saying a word. You're calm. You're composed. You've disappeared from their emotional radar. And suddenly, they're curious. They don't want you back out of love. They want your attention back because your energy made them feel alive. It gave them a sense of importance, control, and power. But now that you've stopped performing for their validation, they're scrambling for a signal. And here's where it gets fun. They'll never admit this. Their pride won't let them, because the moment they acknowledge that they miss you or that they're still watching, they have to face something even more painful. You didn't wait for them. You didn't chase. You didn't send a message. You didn't fold. So they check in secret. They view your stories and act like it means nothing. But their heart skips when they see you glowing. Their stomach turns when you post peace. They want to see cracks in your armor. They want to see signs that you're struggling without them, because that would validate the story they told themselves when they left. But you're not giving them that. You're not giving them a breakdown. You're not posting pity. You're not doing the whole "I'm sad without you" performance. You're living, you're healing, you're laughing, quiet but alive. And that calm presence, that composure, it's eating them alive. Because folks, people don't check on things they don't care about. People don't look back at things they've truly let go of. So don't mistake their silence for peace. Don't let the lack of messages fool you. Their fingers are still scrolling. Their eyes are still searching. But their pride is too loud to let their mouth speak. Let them look. Let them search. Let them wonder who you've become without them. Because every time they check, what they're really asking is, did I matter? Do they miss me? Are they better without me? And your silence answers all of it without saying a word. You don't need to block. You don't need to prove anything. Just keep being still. Keep moving. Keep healing. Let them witness your peace from a distance they created. Type it in the comments right now. They're still watching. Say it for the nights you thought they forgot you. Say it for the version of you that used to beg to be seen. Say it to remind yourself your silence is not unnoticed. It's just unspoken power. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you. You don't perform anymore. You just are. And stay with me, because what's coming next, that's when watching turns into longing, and longing turns into regret. Number 7, let the silence work. It's not cruel, it's clean. Silence isn't punishment, it's protection. Let's get something straight right now, my friends. You're not the villain for choosing silence. You're not cruel, you're not heartless. You're just done explaining yourself to someone who stopped listening a long time ago. You're not trying to get revenge. You're just finally giving them what they gave you: distance. See, they never gave you closure. They gave you confusion. They gave you mixed signals. They gave you silence when it was convenient and noise when it wasn't. And now they don't get the final conversation. Now they don't get the long message. Now they don't get your pain gift wrapped in words they can ignore. They get silence. And silence. It's not cruel, it's clean. It's the cleanest break there is. No drama, no screaming, no "let's talk one last time." Just stillness, just peace, just space. Because let's be honest, they knew what they were doing when they pushed you away. They knew when they ghosted, when they disrespected, when they left you on red, when they played with your emotions like you were a game to win and not a soul to keep. They made their choice, and now you've made yours. You're not being cold, you're being clear. You're not shutting them out, you're shutting the cycle down. That's the difference between Stoicism and spite. Spite wants to see them hurt. Stoicism just wants peace. You don't want to hurt them, you just want to heal. But healing means they don't get access to you anymore. Healing means you protect your energy like gold. Healing means you give yourself the closure you were waiting for. Because waiting for them to explain, that's the trap. That's where they still hold power. But when you give yourself permission to walk away without a final speech, without needing to be understood, without trying to change their mind, you take your power back. Let me give you a metaphor. Imagine a house fire. It's burning, chaotic, loud, and you're standing there hoping the other person will bring water, but they don't. They just watch. After enough time, you stop waiting. You don't try to save the house. You walk out. You close the door behind you, and you never go back. That's what your silence is. You walked out of the fire. You didn't take revenge. You didn't burn their house down. You just chose peace over pain. And now they're standing in the ashes, wondering why it's so quiet. Because here's the truth, silence is honest. It doesn't manipulate, it doesn't twist the story. It doesn't beg or explain or perform. It just is. And the people who can't handle your silence, they were never built for your presence. They want you to speak so they can defend themselves. They want a dramatic ending so they can feel like they're still important. But you're not giving them that anymore. They gave you silence when you needed clarity. Now you give them silence, and that is clarity. You're not being petty, you're being powerful. And yes, it's hard because you're human. You want to speak, you want to explain, you want to tell them how badly they hurt you. But don't let silence do what words never could. Let it speak for you. Let it hold the weight they tried to run from. Because in the end, stillness leaves the deepest impact. It forces people to sit with themselves, and that's the one place they've been avoiding all along. Type it in the comments right now. My silence is my clarity. Say it for every time you wanted to explain but chose strength. Say it for every tear you turned into growth. Say it to remind yourself you're not cruel for walking away quietly. You're clean, you're calm, you're clear. Show them. Show yourself. Show the world around you that you don't need noise to make a statement. And stay with me because what's coming next? That's when silence turns into the one truth they can't run from anymore. Number 8, Stoic love moves differently. Calm, rare, unavailable to chaos. A person at peace is the most powerful person in the room. Stoic love doesn't chase. It doesn't beg. It doesn't perform. It moves calmly. It moves rarely. It moves with the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth and refuses to hand it over for breadcrumbs. You're not cold, you're composed. You're not distant, you're discerning. You're not hard to get, you're hard to deserve. That's what they never understood. You weren't being difficult, you were being deep. And when you go silent, when you go still, when you refuse to return to chaos just because someone finally noticed your absence, that's when you become untouchable. You're not proving anything anymore. You're not dancing for attention. You are the attention. Real power in dating is knowing you were the prize all along and walking away the moment you see someone treating you like an option. And here's the truth to close it all out. Your silence isn't weakness, it's wisdom. It's the quiet power of knowing your worth and refusing to beg for what should have been cherished. Every day you stay silent, you grow stronger while they slowly unravel. So stay calm, stay grounded, stay untouchable. If this message hit home, like this video, subscribe for more truths, and share it with someone who needs to hear this today. Type it in the comments. Silence is my strength. Show them, show yourself, show the world. You've already won.